What gear sets do you want on her? Which main sets do you want on her? In which pieces of content is she just amazing? And a quick showcase as well. What's up guys, Ronaldo here and welcome to this Elysia showcase slash guide. I did some testing for you guys for the gearing and also where she can be used in many different pieces of content. So first up, we're gonna go over her kit, explain it real quick for the people that don't know. If you already know, you can skip ahead. I have the timestamps down below where you can go to the section that you would like to know. So first up, the kit, how does it work and why this matters for the gear later on. So first up, let's go over her talent. She's our new lovely epic lord for the arbiters, right? Her talent is she restores rage with each attack 2% exactly, and with each ultimate unleashed permanently increases her damage by 10%, true damage included, up to 3 times. So already a mini Praetus there in the talent already. So she can get up to 30% more damage through that. Then we have her Lord skill. It is basically the same as Praetus's Lord skill, just with lesser multipliers. That's it already about Praetus's or Elysia's Lord skill here. You will get some bonus attributes for your teammates and you will get divinity stacking up to 3, and then on the final verdict you will be able to deal a bunch of true damage on random targets. If there is just one target, it isn't that random, isn't it? Depending on how many arbiters you have on your team. So the more the better, right? That final verdict is gonna be. Then her ultimate is gonna be Thundered's Bind. And her ultimate is basically she casts a lightning orb at the beginning, and that deals 200% damage and inflicts radiant erosion upon the enemy hit. So it bounces 10 times, so it's basically 2000% damage. But if it is the way that she only has one target, it can't really bounce from one target to another, meaning it will bounce back to her and then bounce back to the enemy, to the single target. And then you might think, oh well, single target, her lightning orb deals only half the damage because she will bounce back to her. No, because it is in her kit that when it bounces back to her, the damage, here we have it, when lightning orb hits the hero, doubles the damage of lightning orb next bounce and inflicts 2 stacks of radiant erosions on the enemy. So basically it doubles the value of the damage done to the enemy through that lightning orb when it's just a single target enemy and bounces to her and then back and forth. This is the A1. We can also go through the awakenings here because they matter. You will get them if you have her. You will use your soul stones, the epic soul stones on her for sure. The A3 will be the lightning orb. Hits the hero, restores HP and dispels debuffs from the hero. So she has a self cleanse, which is amazing actually, which is very nice to have for hard content. And then she has a A5, the lightning orb, instead of 10 bounces will have 16 bounces, increasing her damage from 2000% to let me give you the maths, 3200. Am I right? I think so, yeah. So there's that, but that's not all. On top of that lightning orb bouncing around dealing damage, her basic attack will deal an additional 60% true damage based on her attack. During her ultimate. Ult timing is 16 seconds, 900 cost. With the talent where she self-regenerates cost already, she will have a very high uptime on her ultimate. She will be a magic damage dealer just like Praetus, but she will be a fighter with a Zilla2-esque range with 110% magic damage on one enemy, including airborne units. Here, ranged target here. And then we have the Divine Might passive, increases attack by 30% during the ultimate. The boost becomes permanent after unleashing the ultimate for the 3rd time. So basically after 3 ults you will have a permanent 30% attack increase on top of having a permanent 30% damage increase from the talent. And then on a little cherry on top of that, we have the arena damage increase by 15%, which we're gonna test here on the showcase. Is that really how good is that gonna be, right? So we went over the A1 already. It is basically very important to have that. Then A2 is just attack increase, A4 is attack speed increase, and the A3 we went over as well is the regen and more there is the regen, and the A5 is more bounces from the orb. So what we can say here is she has some true damage, right? She has from her ultimate some true damage, and she has some from the Lord skill some true damage. And generally speaking, when you have a unit with true damage, attack will become very, very much superior to crit damage for most of these units, simply because true damage can't crit, right? This is why if you play Praetus, if you play Elysia, you want to have triple attack on them, right? And the same goes for her. But I did some testing and found some interesting stuff out about Elysia. So let's go into the gear. We're rocking a Soulbound Arcana. That's right. Let me pull up this, what we had here. There we go. This is a bunch of numbers that don't make sense for you right now, but I'll explain them. Basically, the Soulbound Arcana, what did it do? So if you, this is Soulbound Arcana on top, and then we have on the bottom we have the Infernal Roar. So the Soulbound Arcana, like in terms of attack damage, is pretty similar, right? It is just a small increase of damage there. But here 206k, 250k, this is a big difference. So you really always want to have Soulbound Arcana, and that is because the Soulbound Arcana gives a damage increase to the Lightning Orb, whereas the Infernal Roar set is not going to give that extra damage increase to the Lightning Orb, which is why that Lightning Orb is dealing less damage on the Infernal Roar set, whereas on the Soulbound it deals massively more damage, whereas all the other sets are basically the same, right? We had 32k true damage, we had also 32.4k true damage here, and the Thunder, the true damage Thunder from the Lord skill was 55k as well. I really made sure that when I tested the Infernal Roar versus Soulbound set that we basically pretty much had identical stats. Now these stats are all with full triple attack on the right side pieces here, triple attack pieces. What happens if we have double attack pieces though? Well, I tested that as well, and I also tested it with constants. Basically, there we go. We have, if we have triple attack, if you're rocking triple attack, we deal more damage with her normal kit during her normal time, right? During when she normally hits. But when you activate your Constance ultimate, with the double attack, she actually deals more damage, slightly more damage during Constance's ultimate, whereas if you have a Constance's ultimate active during with the triple attack. This is simply because Constance gives you more attack, and because you have so much bonus attack from Constance, you don't need that much attack while her ultimate is active, right? You have to consider that. Whereas when you don't have a Constance, triple attack will always be way superior, as you saw here. But there's another caveat to this, and that is that we need to consider as well is the Thunder here. As we were able to see, the Thunder with triple attack is always going to be higher damage than with double attack. So while during Constance's ultimate, she deals a little more damage with 1 crit damage right side piece and 2 attack pieces, whereas without Constance's ultimate she deals a little more damage with triple attack pieces. I would still go for triple attack simply because first up, it's very consistent. It hires your true damage from the lightning, from the Verdict of Truth, which is going to be very important to time, which is going to be where a lot of damage comes from during guild boss as well. There's that, but as you can see, it is not that bad, right? You can still get away with a double attack. Generally be speaking, for all of the DPS, whenever you use a DPS in end game content, triple attack is most of the time the way to go because of the damage. And when you use a Constance or a Dolores, you can get away with double attack right side pieces. Now as for the rest here, fairly standard. 250 plus bonus attack speed is good, 100% crit rate, and just as much crit damage as you can, and rage engine as you can. That's really it. That's it for her in terms of the stats and the stat priority. And yeah, make sure of course to use the Soulbound Arcana on her, just like on basically all these other mages as well. Then on the artifact that I used is Realm of Tear. You can go use different artifacts on her. You can go for a Wailing Skull as well. You can also go for a Frigid Flame, depending on the piece of content. which works as well. These are kind of the best sets. I can just showcase you Frigid Flame here for the arena showcase. And then for what content is she going to be amazing, right? Let's go over this real quick before we go into the arena herself and showcase her there, because I tested her in a few different pieces of content. And the first thing that came to mind was, well, what about that damage? Excuse me, that damage for gear rate 1. What about the AoE capabilities of that bounce from the lightning orb? Well, that bounce isn't gonna be enough, and her AoE capabilities are not that good. But therefore she is mainly a single target unit. So that all the way already. And in terms of content, Guild Boss 2, she's great. Guild Boss 1, she's great. Void Rift, amazing. Epilogue, amazing. Campaign, amazing, especially with the self cleanse, by the way. Especially for the new campaign stages where it can be rough, right? It can be rough. Having a self cleanse, possible self cleanse, is amazing to have. And then of course Gear Dungeon 2 as well is where she can work very well for the Volca clones, because she can deal with them quite easily, just like a Zillitu could. She can take over Zillitu's job there. As for the gear rates itself, I don't think she's that great for them specifically. I don't think she's exceptional for... Yeah, you're not really going to use her as, even in gear rate 3, you're not really going to use her as you want a physical damage dealer there and a magic damage dealer fighter. If you decide to use a fighter, you're most likely going to go with arrogance there. But this is about the content itself. Now let's go into the showcase of single target arena with Elysia. If you wonder how she performs in Guild Boss 2 specifically, make sure to check out the video in the description down below. This is where I tested her against Praetus himself, against the man himself, see how well she performs in Guild Boss 2. I think that's going to be interesting to see for you too. And let's get right into arena now. So here you can already see I tested her in anti-air already as well. What I can tell you guys with anti-air, her Lord skill doesn't hit as hard as Praetus' Lord skill, and therefore your first wave you need to wait a lot longer, because you would need 3 kind of stacks of for the final verdict to be able to do you enough damage to get rid of the last enemies. So therefore anti-air, I don't think she's going to be that amazing. Even though that team performed exceptionally, it was mainly the other 4 units that performed exceptionally and not her carrying. It was mainly Ingrid and Saris carrying this fight. Now single target arena is a different story though, so let's go into single target arena. Let's see our team here. We have Elysia as one of our main DPS. We have our boy Silas as our secondary DPS, and we have a Zalazar as our executor. So let's go into the gear real quick. So we have them all geared up, and let's see how well this team performs and how well she performs compared to the Silas here in terms of the damage output that she does, and in terms of the damage output that the Silas does here in single target arena. So we're gonna place down our Siren first, pretty straightforward here, and what we're gonna do second is place our Silas actually. And now this will make the results slightly based into Silas's favor, because he will be able to take care of 2 waves before Elysia even gets placed down. But that's just how it is, because Elysia has the 23 cost, right? So, and Silas is faster with that, and she doesn't have her ultimate up that quickly. So just to take care of the first 2 waves faster, we took that Silas in here, and now we can just wait. We're gonna pop her ult, and then we're gonna use her Lord skill to just one-shot this guy, right? Pop her ult to increase her attack, and then one-shot him with the Lord skill off spawn. Then next wave comes in. Just do this. Next wave again. We're getting through this very easily so far, but keep in mind these are kind of the first few waves. These are the easy waves, so to speak. Therefore we don't really need much, right, for these waves to succeed. Now last enemy comes in. We're gonna use the standard strategy for the last enemy, and that is just pop Salazar, right? If you plan to reach high rank in single target arena, you really want to have 2 strong DPS and a Salazar for the execute for the last enemy, in case you're wondering. So we're gonna pop that Silas again. So first enemy down, second enemy down, and then the third enemy comes in soon as well. And we're gonna pop this to increase the lightning damage and basically nuke most of his HP from the get-go with the lightning from our girl here. And we gotta pop this ultimate here. This is the second enemy, right? Well, basically all you want to do is just use your Salazar ultimate for the last enemy. So while I'm recording and talking, I'm not that focused really on counting, but basically when the last enemy comes, we're gonna pop that Salazar ult, there you go, to take care of as much as we can and take care of these enemies quickly. Then we're getting to the last wave, which is why we're gonna use that Silas ult first. So first enemy is gonna be down. Second enemy is gonna be taken care of with Silas as well. And then third enemy and fourth enemy is gonna be taken care of Elysia. So she immediately taps him away here. And now we have the Lord skill. So once the last enemy comes out, we're gonna pop that and basically take care of that immediately when he comes out. So very strong performance from this team. Now let's see how strong Elysia's damage output was though. Bam! Whoa, 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 holy! Damn, there we have it, there we have it. So she performs very well, as you can see, in single target arena, definitely. If you do not have a Praetus, if you do not have Ingrid, Valderon, one of these guys, she's one heck of a unit for this content. Now, if you do not have a Silas either, I think Kigiri works very well as well for this arena. Same for Salazar. If you do not have a Salazar, Kigiri can be used for some executes as well. Just a slight tip from my side. I got you guys. And wow, she is insane. I did not expect that, actually. I did not expect that result. I tested her, because I tested her and I was like, okay, it feels very smooth, but I didn't check the damage, and I thought the damage was higher from Silas, but holy, there you have it, guys. There you have it. Elysia is amazing. She is super good. That's my final verdict. You know, at the Guild Boss 2 showcase, I was saying I want to keep my final verdict until I did more of testing, and she's super versatile, super good. Her being able to have such long range is amazing. Her being able to have true damage to be a lord, she is so flexible. Make use of her. You can use her in PvP. You could most likely even use her in Guild Wars if you find a positioning where she survives. And now she's not going to be as oppressive as a Praetus, of course, but she is going to hit hard, that's for sure. And with that said, make sure to like and subscribe if you like this piece of content. It will help the channel, and you will not miss out on any content in the future. Plus, word in the streets is, it will increase your summoning luck. And with that said, I wish you all a blessed day. Stay tuned for more. I'm Ronaldo, and I'm out. Peace!